I've always been kind of curious about this Carl Jung quote that's the beware of unearned wisdom or something to that effect. And kind of always wondered, like, why is it dangerous? Why would he have said that? And the conclusion that I've kind of come to is there's actual peril and danger with regard to learning more than, say, two steps ahead of where you're at. So for example, like I went to learn how to install my shower, the tile in my shower, which has not been done yet, because I thought, okay, well, this is great. So I went to a store and a guy showed me, he's like, oh, you're going to want to do this. And so I invested a lot of time. I learned how to do that system. But while I was doing that, the YouTube rabbit hole took me down. Well, maybe you want to learn how to do this system, or maybe you want to learn how to do that system. So I learned 5 different ways to waterproof a shower. And then the problem was that when I went to go and execute this whole build out the shower thing, what wound up happening to me was that I was too aware of all of the problems that could arise from each individual system. And so I've now learned that the more you learn about the future problems that thing addresses. So if you're learning multiplication, there's actually going to be future problems that are going to occur, such as if the teacher says, well, you need to learn this multiplication because without this, you won't know how to do trigonometry. Without trigonometry, you may not learn how to do calculus. And without calculus, you may not be able to get a good job as a stats guy. And if you don't know how to do stats, well, then you're going to wind up as this miserable person who's an idiot. And so now what you've done is you've taken this problem that is a 45 or 50-year-old problem, and you've placed it on the back of a second grader. And I think so many of us, we sit down and we learn and we're okay, so I'm going to individuate, and once I individuate, I'm going to learn these skills. And once I learn these skills, then I'm going to be able to start a business, and then I'm going to be able to deal with a family. And when I get a family, I'm going to have all these family problems. When I have a business, I'm going to have business problems, and I have tax problems and investment problems. And once you become so hyper aware of every single problem that is around each corner, the level of paralysis for where do you start or how do I finish, it becomes just almost insurmountable. And so there's a certain bit where it's like, Nietzsche said in Zarathustra, you should only learn with the intention to create. And so I'm really finding that is so applicable to daily life and daily how we interact. Whether I'm building a new vanity for my bathroom, or whether or not I'm implementing a new system for my business, there is just this idea that you need to learn how to address this problem and maybe set yourself up for the next problem. But until you get good at managing the current problem, you'll wind up becoming so aware of every potential terror out there that it winds up collapsing the whole concept of whatever you're trying to do. It winds up undermining the desire to learn, winds up undermining the ability to produce and to be effective and to take risks, because you'll always be second guessing yourself. And that is the danger of unearned wisdom. That's the danger of learning too much. So it's a very slippery slope and quite perilous.